If you regularly feel tired, heavy, or foggy after eating, it may not just be the food itself. In traditional Chinese medicine, there's a small habit during meals that can quietly weaken digestion, forcing the body to spend more energy processing food than it actually gains from it. And most people have been doing it their entire lives because digestion is supposed to create energy. So if meals consistently leave you sluggish instead of energized, something in that process may not be working efficiently. Most people assume the problem is what they're eating. Too much sugar, too many carbs, too much processed food. And while those things can matter, there's another part of digestion that almost nobody pays attention to: how the food is being eaten in the first place. In traditional Chinese medicine, digestion isn't viewed as just a mechanical process in the stomach. It's seen as a transformation process. The body takes food, breaks it down, extracts usable energy from it, and turns that into qi and TCM. This process is closely connected to the spleen. The spleen is considered one of the body's main sources of postnatal energy, meaning the energy you create every day from food and drink. But that system works best when digestion is efficient. And one of the easiest ways to make digestion less efficient is eating too quickly without properly chewing food. Most people barely notice they're doing it. They rush through meals, eat distracted, take large bites, swallow before the food is fully broken down, which means the digestive system has to work much harder afterward. Digestion actually begins in the mouth. Chewing is the body's first stage of digestion. It mechanically breaks food down while mixing it with saliva and digestive enzymes before it even reaches the stomach. So, when food is swallowed too quickly, the body has to compensate later, and from a traditional Chinese medicine perspective, that extra burden can gradually weaken digestive function over time, especially in people who already feel bloated after meals, physically heavy, chronically fatigued, foggy headed, or sluggish throughout the day. In TCM, this kind of inefficient digestion is often associated with something called dampness. Dampness is viewed as a kind of internal heaviness or stagnation that develops when the body struggles to properly transform and transport nutrients and fluids. And interestingly, many of the symptoms people associate with low energy can overlap with this exact pattern. Things like mental fog, post meal crashes, low motivation, bloating, water retention, and constantly feeling weighed down. From this perspective, the goal of eating isn't just fullness, it's efficient energy production. Because when digestion is working smoothly, the body can transform food into usable energy with less strain. But when it's forced to overwork, you may end up feeling the effects afterward as heaviness, fatigue, or that familiar post meal crash. And one of the simplest ways to support this process is by giving your body more time at the very beginning of digestion. Slowing down slightly during meals, chewing more thoroughly, and allowing food to be properly broken down before it reaches the stomach. Not as a strict rule and not as something to overthink, but as a way of reducing unnecessary load on the digestive system. Because from a traditional Chinese medicine perspective, when digestion is more efficient, the body can produce more balanced qi and use less energy just to process food. And sometimes that shift alone can change how you feel after eating. Not dramatically overnight, but subtly over time. Sometimes the body doesn't feel tired because it's lacking energy, but because it's spending too much energy trying to process what it's given. And in some cases, the difference between feeling heavy after meals and feeling clear afterward can start with something as simple as how you begin eating in the first place.